My Hero Academia Chapter 406, the final chapters of Boku no Hero Academia. The new chapter begins with an update on the battlefield. Essentially every other battle is slowly concluding. This means we are entering the absolute climax of My Hero Academia, where the focus is only on Deku, Bakugo, All For One, Shigaraki, possibly All Might, and others who may intervene. However, one event remains unresolved: the Razorhead, Present Mike, and Kurogiri. I have mentioned many times that this will be one of the final battles, and it seems that it is about to start very soon. Cutting back to the fight, everyone is impressed with the Bakugo's speed. I told you before that speed has become his new main power. It appears that Bakugo's speed has even surpassed Gear Shift, which is another prediction I made. I firmly believe that we haven't seen the full extent of Bakugo's power. What we are witnessing is his true awakening. The cluster was just the beginning. Edshot then attempts to clarify the power-up. The speed Bakugo unlocked just before his death surprised even Shigaraki and All For One. He's likely in the process of discovering something new about his quirk himself. This chapter here clearly hints at the strongest quirk we have ever seen in all of My Hero Academia, and it belongs to none other than Bakugo. We still don't know the connection between Bakugo and the second user, but the hint that there's indeed a connection has been repeatedly suggested in recent chapters, and it becomes more apparent with each new chapter. At this point, it's nearly impossible to deny that there will be a revelation in the next few chapters that will explain everything. We should remember that although the quirks of Bakugo and the second user are not inherently about speed, they both use their powers to increase their speed, and both have the strongest quirks in existence. In some ways, something connects Bakugo and the second user's fate as if they were the same person, which they clearly are not. But who knows what interdimensional, time-twisting phenomena exist in the world of My Hero Academia, a world of quirks that change the fabric of reality, just like Deku already did. We simply can no longer ignore the possibility that their similarities are not just by character design. And it also seems like the second user knows what is going on, but is keeping quiet for some reason. I could be wrong about this one. However, everyone has noticed the second user's reaction to Bakugo. It's not the first time. It also happened right before Bakugo saved Deku from his own egocentric behavior. At that point, the second user seemed to know Bakugo's arrival, just like in this battle. Cut to Shigaraki, who says it's fine, he just has to break Bakugo again. And so Deku then begins an internal monologue admitting that he's been using his danger sense to dodge so far, but he has yet to find a way to counter Shigaraki's combination of regeneration, decay, and his superhuman body. He can only use Gear Shift once more, and when that's done, the blowback will be brutal. But Deku decides that the time is now. By the way, we still don't know what the blowback is. It has been hinted at many times that it could be a physical aspect of the world that Deku disrupts by ignoring physical laws. This is because physical laws exist for a reason, to hold the universe together. If you play God for too long, the universe will respond. If that's the case, it would be intriguing to discover how the second user knows about that blowback, even though this only evolved when the quirk evolved after many generations as part of One For All. And it's also evident that Deku is the first to use all the quirks, meaning also the quirk of the second user. So how can the second user be aware of its current state when it has not been used since his time? It's very odd and once again suggests a possible time distortion, which leads back to the fact that Deku changes the fabric of reality, and also back to the time travel theory, and with that back to Bakugo and the reason he resembles the second user. But all this is just speculation at this time. Another idea is that he simply knows his quirk back in the day already caused damage to himself, so that damage will also affect Deku, but much worse. But then of course he too is only speculating. The worst case scenario is that Deku could die and Bakugo will become the final user, especially because of the reflection to the second and first user. It's also possible that Tomura will sacrifice his body to save Deku after the blowback affects him. This is because it's proven that Deku will save Shigaraki, possibly in in the shared realm of One for All and All for One, where Deku and Shigaraki will have their final showdown. Only in that world are Shigaraki's true emotions exposed, so that's something to look forward to as well. It would also be kind of nice if Shigaraki had the choice to cross over to One for All, becoming a vestige and provide Deku with Shigaraki's body, which has super regeneration. This would allow Deku to survive and use Gear Shift as much as he wants. That's a cool idea. Anyway, Deku then decides it's time and activates the second user's quirk, but All for One starts heading towards Shigaraki, which annoys Bakugo. All for One says that the explosion quirk isn't as strong as Endeavor's Hellflame or Dark Shadow, and he can deal with it later. He can't let someone like Bakugo accelerate his rewind even more. But Bakugo finally understands. Pain is key. When the sweat that should be coming from his hands spreads all over his body, the pain becomes excruciating. He needs to pinpoint where it hurts the most and master the timing to unleash stronger explosions. So he uses pain to understand where the sweat is, helping him to control it better around his body. But I believe there's much more to the quirk than pain, as Edshot revealed. Bakugo is in the process of comprehending it. It seems that through the wound the sweat entered Bakugo's body and inside his body caused some sort of effect. I don't think pain is all there is to it. We then see Bakugo flying much faster than All for One. He recalls the time he questioned whether he could still catch up to Izuku, but now he's confident he can even surpass him. This is because, as mentioned earlier, it's pretty much confirmed now that Bakugo has the strongest quirk in existence and is about to fully awaken. End of chapter. To me it seems clear that first, the whole Kurogiri plot will be resolved, possibly starting from the next chapter. In any case, once that happens, the Ultimate Demon Lord will appear. All for One has already hinted that he needs physical contact with Shigaraki, which is something I have predicted as well. This situation leads us back to the shared realm of One for All and All for One. Notably, All for One mentioned that the transformation hasn't occurred yet due to Shigaraki's will. The only place where hatred disappears and Shigaraki's true emotions are revealed is in the shared realm, as previously mentioned. This is why All for One will have an easier time achieving his goal there. He can bypass Shigaraki's will when his true personality is exposed. But the same advantage applies to Deku, who is trying to save Shigaraki. So far, he simply couldn't get through to him because of his thick-headedness. This stubbornness doesn't exist in the shared realm. You see why it boils down to the shared realm? It appears that All for One does not need Shigaraki's soul, he needs his body and hatred. So maybe everyone in this realm, Shigaraki, Deku, and All for One, will have a standoff where they try to pursue Shigaraki to join their side. This realm is always depicted with two sides, All for One, One for All, good and evil, love and hatred, villain and hero, and maybe even Tomura and Tenko, Shigaraki and Shimura. There could be a back and forth where Shigaraki strives for independence while his hatred in form of Tomura moves towards All for One, and the innocent child Tenko moves towards his family and Deku his hero. In this process, since Shigaraki has the strongest will in the series, I can imagine that his soul will split, his hatred joining All for One, transforming him into the Ultimate Demon Lord, while Tenko's soul goes to Deku, giving him a super body and allowing him to use Gear Shift without limits, while also saving his life. As a result, Shigaraki becomes one of the One for All vestiges and part of the heroes who defeated All for One. So what do you think of this theory chapter review? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video then please leave a like, it really helps me a lot. If you want to see more My Hero Academia chapter reviews then subscribe to this channel with the notification bell activated for more videos. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.